How we doing, everybody? Tim from Ski Rex Media. As you can see, or maybe not if you're watching the video version, because I have my head down showing off the high print Ski Rex Media beanie, which may or may not enter merch production. We'll see. But we're not here to talk about merch right now. We can talk about subscribing, liking, commenting, all that good stuff on the Ski Rex Media podcast, wherever you are, or wherever you're watching or listening, be that YouTube, IGTV, or one of the many audio versions of it, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and Pandora, and did I say Spotify? And Buzzsprout, and all those places. Remember to like it, leave comments, rate it if you can. It's all platform specific. So if it's a like button, tap a like button. If it's a rate button, rate it, add some stars, whatever you gotta do. Five-star ratings on Apple Podcasts. Make sure you do that. Stay through the end of the episode. It's gonna be hopefully good. I don't know. Let's find out, shall we? Now we've gotten that out of the way, since I'm not doing live reads, which are also maybe or maybe not coming into play soon. I don't know. We're moving forward here at Ski Rex Media. But speaking of moving forward, as we move forward into the new year, we are into 2021, the first episode of 2021. And while I was looking to be very positive for the new year, where pretty much everybody is looking to be positive for the new year, I'm going to take a little bit of a negative turn here, because of things I saw over New Year's weekend. And if you saw the title of the episode, I don't know exactly what I'm titling it yet, but it's something along the lines of worries about the new season, worries about the finish of a season, all this stuff. Worrying about, will the season continue? Do we know if it will continue? And you could say, just looking at the surface, sure. Why wouldn't it? Season's off to a decent start. For some places, tons of snow. For some places, a little snow. For here in New England and Vermont, really odd hit or miss. So far, it's either been a very little snow or a very lot of snow all at once. It's been crazy. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about on the surface. I'm talking about going deeper. Will the season get shut down again? And why do I bring it up? And the short answer would be, we could do a 3-minute episode right now and say, I have no idea. I could be 100% wrong. I may not know what I'm talking about. It could be any or all of those things. But here's what I saw, and it comes down to one moment. While driving around in southern Vermont on New Year's Eve, I was down in Chester, Vermont, driving through. Got to where Route 11 going south meets 103 going east-west, and kind of northeast to west, or northwest to east, I should say. As I pull up to a stop sign there, if you're familiar with the area, you know where it is. There's a little Jiffy Mart right there at the corner. Stop sign there, and just a row of cars going by. Didn't expect traffic at the time of day I was there. Like I said, passing through. Row of cars going by. I'm like, all right, whatever. Pull out. Really wasn't paying attention to those cars. Pull out behind them. We're all in a straight line, and they all turn. Now, Route 11 and Route 103 are the same for a little bit in town, and then 103 breaks off and heads off towards Ludlow, and then from there you could pick up 100, head up to Killington and Route 4, if one were so inclined. And that, I came to realize, is exactly what was happening. These folks were jumped off of exit 6 on I-91 coming from, and I noticed, all out-of-state plates. And I'm not hating on out-of-staters, don't get me wrong, I'm not pulling that, and we'll get into that in a minute too. All out-of-state plates heading up to, most likely, Okemo and Killington. Now, why does that matter? On a typical year, it wouldn't. Typical year, I wouldn't even have thought twice about it, because that's normal. That's people coming in for the holiday or people coming in for the weekend, and that's just a main route to get up there. It's the most direct route, unless you know side roads, or unless you're feeling adventurous and want to check out side roads, you know what I mean? But this year, with all the talk of quarantines, with all the talk of travel restrictions, with all the talk of things of this nature, it was surprising to see now that, seeing people just coming, and the likelihood, I can't say for sure, obviously, but the likelihood is these people did not follow the travel restrictions and just came up. Now, not hating on them, not saying anything, though I will say it's kind of funny that Vermont has taken a shitload of hate for the 14-day quarantine period, for the 7-day with a negative COVID test quarantine period, taking a lot of shit for that. And if people are kind of just blowing it off, it's kind of fucked up to give someone shit and then blow it off. But I digress on that. It also comes down to watching when we're at the ski mountains and then seeing pictures people have put out and other stories. Where was it? Wolf Creek, Colorado. Parking got out of control to the point where people were parking a mile away to hike up to the mountain, to walk to the mountain, not hike like they were doing backcountry. They walked to go to inbounds. And, word has it, the mountain didn't exceed I think it was 5,000 people capacity limit. But parking was nuts to the point where they were parking in places they shouldn't have, and the Department of Transportation out there in Colorado thought about ticketing and towing. Here, Mount Snow, there were pictures coming out of Mount Snow of lift lines going up the trail. Something you don't see there every day, especially this year. No social distancing to be had. And I think that's the problem. Now, I've said, maybe we should keep these pictures and these complaints to ourselves, at least till the summer. We can bitch about it in the summer because it's these things that are going to get it shut down. You know what I mean? Like right now, the state of Vermont, I just saw it today because Burke and West Dover, homes to Burke Mountain and Mount Snow, had increased COVID case numbers. Some people, the locals, say it's from the out-of-staters. The state says that it probably isn't because there's been none of the contact tracing has led anything back to the mountains. So who knows where these turns came from, these upturns in numbers. However, there is something to be said by the locals. Like, they're not wrong either. Like, maybe because it didn't contract traced there didn't mean it didn't come from them. It's these things. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there for a second, but it's these things. Increased numbers, seeing the photos of the long lines. And we've seen it elsewhere too. Like Vail has taken a ton of shit for having lines for day tickets, like down the road. Foot lines, not car lines, mind you. Foot lines, quarter mile or better. Other places, like I said, in Colorado, the parking. I've seen my own personal experience. I was at Suicide 6 and people were playing it like it wasn't a thing. I was standing there by myself and, the same question you always get. Hey, you riding single? I'll get on with you. It's like, nah, dude, we're not supposed to do that. Call me a sheep, call me what you will, but I'm trying to play by the rules because the powers that be will shut it down if I don't. And I got asked so many times that day that one person asked and a patroller turned around and explained it to the guy for me. I couldn't believe it. Nobody's playing, at least I can't say nobody, but it feels like if we're not playing by the rules, it's going to get shut down. And that was I know that was a lot. That was like 5 minutes worth of explanation when the short version was, because of the pictures that are coming out in social media, because of the other news stories. I tried not to do it, but it's out there now. It doesn't matter if I say it or not. It's out there. Are the states going to see it and say, all right, now so far they've played ball. The contact tracing hasn't gone back to the mountain, so they haven't said anything. But will they wait? You know what I'm saying? Like, if the pictures keep coming out, long lines, complaints about long lines, complaints about lack of social distancing, photos of people not social distancing, more complaints about no masks or less masks or wrong worn masks, and then photos and complaints about this and whatnot and all what have you. Is it going to get the season shut down? Am I worried about it? Yeah. Like, not fully. I have backup plans too, just like everybody else. But we've seen it in other countries. Mountains shut down. Not every country. Again, everywhere is different. Every country's trying things differently. Our country's not only trying things differently, but on the state level, things are being tried differently as well. But is it going to happen? Could it happen? Because I can't tell you if it is or it isn't. I mean, there's a flip side to it. There's a complete other hand. Vaccines are starting to come out. People are taking it, man. I honestly, although I have talked to people who don't want to get it right away, for good reasons. Some people are like, well, was that testing enough? I think it is. I think it's more of a, when it comes to the COVID vaccine, people are like, oh, maybe they tested it too fast. It didn't get the testing it should have. I say we've always been able to do it that fast. Just, manufacturers drag their feet and scientists drag their feet. I think it was an exercise of efficiency, an example of the efficiency that can be had, right? I also talk to other people who like to bring up the fact that I Am Legend, that story started, that movie, Will Smith, kind of zombie-esque, started with a vaccine issue and, overactive sci-fi pop culture imaginations. And I get that too. But I haven't really heard any other anti-vaxxer stuff. Like, there's a lot of always about anti-vaccination. I haven't really heard it this time, which is kind of amazing to me. But with the vaccine coming out, the point was that maybe that will save it. Even if all this stuff is going on and the states, and again, I'm sticking with the states because if there is anybody who listens to this from outside the United States or watch this from outside the United States, I'm in the United States, so that's what I know, and know best, obviously. But if with the vaccine coming out and stuff, maybe it won't be get your shots, put on your mask. Who gives a goddamn if there's social distancing anymore or not? Or whatever, however it may work. Because there are the plus sides, there are the negatives. Again, got vaccines, but the rules are not being followed a lot. They are being followed, but not by everyone, which is, par for the course. I mean, that was to be expected. But I just don't know. I don't know if it will happen or not, if the season will just continue on and that'll be that, or if it will be shut down. I don't know. Nobody knows. We're not going to know until it happens. But could it happen? Yes. Yes, it could. Yes, it could. And my fear is that it's going to happen and people are going to bitch, and then it's going to start another fight because people are going to say, well, if we all would have just done it, there would be nothing to bitch about. So why are you bitching? And it's going to just go back and forth and turn into a mess, which it kind of is, between what you hear in the media, what you hear from your own doctor or our own doctors, what you hear from this person, that person, wherever it may be. Nobody knows what's going on. No one has a solid answer, I don't think. And I know that's, again, this sucks because it's so negative, but I do have my things with the media as well. I know they're not, I'm not saying they're lying. I'm just saying they're not doing a great job. And, and I try to do the best job I can, and when I say I don't know, I don't know. In fact, I've said it with this COVID-19 thing, it's going to be years. It's going to be 5-10 years minimum before we actually know what happened, what was right, what was wrong, who was at fault, who did what, because it's also been turned into such a political thing that this is a Republicans' fault, the Democrats' fault, the socialists' fault, whomever, we don't know. And it won't be until we shut up about it for a few years that we'll be able to actually sit down, take a look at it objectively and say what went on. And that's as a whole. Now, if we just bring it to what we're talking about here, again, Ski Rex Media, we talk snow sports, we talk skiing, snowboarding, snow sports, all that good stuff. Again, in 5-10 years, we're still not going to know. We're not going to know anything until then. But for the here and now, could it be shut down? The thing is yes, and I am kind of worried about it. And again, I have backup plans too. Like, uphill is a thing, and everybody wants to try that. Finding little stash hills, calling up, like I said, I might call up farms and say, can I use that back hill on that back pasture of yours? It's covered in snow and nobody's touched it. Can I use it? It'll just be me. I'll be socially distanced and I'll take responsibility for my own injuries or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? I have backup plans, but it's going to suck because it's going to kill, some of these mountains may or may not be able to survive financially. It's going to hurt morale. That's actually important. Like right now, people are depressed. They are depressed. It doesn't matter how negative I get on this program. I'm not going to bring anybody any further down than they already are, man. The world is shot out, and it's not going to help. What can we do? Again, I try to follow the rules. I want to go down to, Berkshire East and Catamount, Mass, but they have a similar 14-day period. So if I shoot out to New Hampshire, am I able to go anywhere? Even though it's right across the river, it's right there. Like I can see the border. Do the state borders really matter in this? And they do, to follow the rules, but from a bigger grand scheme of things, right across the river is no different. It's I can walk there right now. So if I go to New Hampshire, which on Wednesday I will be in New Hampshire. I'm prepared to go to New Hampshire. I've been seeing nobody but myself for days and days and days and days. So I'm good to travel out of state, but then I have to come back. And I just went an hour into New Hampshire. So now when I come back, I have to be careful with where I go, and I don't, I'm trying to play by those rules, man. I am. But we'll see. We'll see. Because that's the best I got. Follow the rules, man. If you may not agree with them. I don't know if I agree with them. Like I said, I don't know what's going on. Does anybody really know what's going on? Like we do, but we don't, because it is turned into political arguments and social arguments and other arguments. So who the hell knows? But, I'm going to be like I said, be in New Hampshire Wednesday. Technically, that means I should not be on another Vermont hill for 2 weeks. 2 weeks or a COVID test in 7 days. Even though I'm driving out by myself, I'm going to be skiing by myself, but I will be in lift lines. I'm going to have to be careful. I'm going to have to try and figure that out. So, it might be 2 weeks before I'm out again. I don't know. Or out amongst people. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, again, technically that's the way it has to go. I'm going to have to be inside for 2 weeks, or I'm going to have to do 7 days, get the test, be negative, and be like, all right, back on it, which may or may not actually be a good thing anyway, because I kind of should get my gear tuned up. I do need an edge and a wax, I think, already. But joking aside, I don't know. I don't know if the season's going to end. Am I worried it's going to? Yeah. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised. I kind of see it coming. I do. Because you see it all over. Like I said, the stuff out of Wolf Creek about the parking, the lines at the Vale Hills with no social distancing, people at ground level, in lift lines having issues. Lake Tahoe is trying to keep out anybody who's not from the area. You've heard about that in the news. And I feel like the more it's in the news, and again, it's the media, so who knows? People might ignore it. But in the end, it might shut everything down. And I know there's other people, again, from the political side, you've heard about it, a federal shutdown after the inauguration in 2 weeks. The first thing, one of the first things the Biden administration wanted to do, or at least that's what you read or you hear in the media. That's what, I was like, no, that doesn't make any sense. That's not how that works. But I've been wrong before, Will it shut down? I don't know. Could it? Yes. So my advice, my suggestion is to, watch what we say, watch what we do, follow the rules. And don't be surprised if it does get shut down again. I don't want it to. Like I said, I'm being careful. Like I'm not, I don't ride the chairlift. I've been sitting on quads by myself, which is kind of cool in a way. And then I've been bitching because, I'm sick of skiing alone already. I've been out 4 days, and 3 of those days I've had to do it alone, and it kind of blows a little bit. Skiing and snowboarding are social sports. I mean, not completely. Obviously, you can do, but I don't mind usually. But now, because I have to, I kind of mind. Isn't that weird? It's kind of stupid. And anyway, I'm going to keep trying to follow the rules. Like I said, I'm going out to New Hampshire, so I should be in for 2 weeks or 7 days with a test. Beyond that, that's all we can do. Like, I don't mean to be negative, but that's it. We could try and follow the rules the best we can and see what's the what. Like I may, after this one, be, just staying in Vermont through February. I've already got a ticket to Pico and for my birthday in February. So I'm fine with that. And I got Indy Pass places, Bolton and Jay. I haven't been there yet. Magic, I haven't been there yet this year. I've been to Suicide 6 once, but that still gives me another day for nothing. I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see. But if I'm in the middle of a quarantine and can't get out, at least maybe I could find a way to get my skis tuned up. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. But my thing is, the point, again, this is 20 minutes of me who could have done a short thing to saying, let's do our best to follow the rules. And if we can't, I'm not saying we shouldn't tell on people, but, maybe being a tattletale isn't the best thing to do because the season might get shut down and I don't want it to get shut down. I am worried about it. And I know you're with me because you're worried about it. But if we don't want to bitch about it if it's our fault. You know what I mean? Some people aren't going to like that I say that because they, believe that's all bullshit and stuff anyway. And maybe it is. Like I said, I have no idea. I've been very open about that. I got no clue what's going on. I wear the mask because they asked me to because I don't care. People think it's unconstitutional and whatever. I'm like, are you kidding me? It's winter. I'm going to be wearing one anyway. But I don't care. It really takes nothing out of my day. There's other things people disagree with, right up to the point of conspiracy theory and saying it's all fake. And I'm like, global conspiracy. Like, come on, dude. Come on. The Illuminati's not real. Not like that. Like, you can't. No. Stop. But at ground level, if there's a rule in place, I'll try to follow it to the best of my ability. We'll go through it, and then we'll see what happened at the end. And then, like I said, in 5 and 10 years, when we have it all figured out, we could say, well, that was stupid, and move on. That's it. That's what I'm saying. 2021, I didn't mean to start off negative, but we could turn into a positive, man. Flip the script. Just be like, all right, whatever. In the end, it was stupid. We know that now. What's on TV? It's that easy. Nothing to get upset about. Nothing to get crazy about. Something to worry about? Probably not, but I'm worrying about it because I would kind of, first time back in 6 years, skiing in 6 years, and I'm really, even though, like I said, I feel like skiing alone is kind of bogus some days because of how much I'm going to do it. At the same time, I'm having a good time, and I don't want to lose the good time, and I don't want you to lose your good time. So let's try and let's stick to the rules the best we can. Don't be a dick about it if you don't want to. Like, I mean, it's totally up to you. Like, I'm not saying no, I'm not telling you what to believe, but don't be a dick about it. Like, you hear me say that all the time. Don't be a dick. Don't be an asshole. Just positive asshole is one thing, but that's a whole other story. That's a whole other thing. That's not negative at all. How is calling someone an asshole not negative? We'll get into that on another day. As for today, we'll end this negative rant by saying, do your best to follow the rules, especially since, the companies are private. They can put whatever rule they want into effect anyway because it's private mountain, private company, private property. They can do what they want. And there's things about that too. Again, that's not important. The point is while we have these dumb pandemic rules that we don't want to follow, don't want to deal with, and, matter to some more than others, let's do our best to follow them the best we can, and then we'll just move on. And we'll have a good season. But if they shut it down, we'll go back to virtual opera live streams on Saturday. Why not? In any case, thank you for listening or watching, #watching. I do appreciate it. 2021 off to a negative start, but next week it should be a little bit more positive. Like I said, I might be doing that from quarantining myself after being in New Hampshire. We'll see. Plus we're starting to schedule guests, have a couple set up, just got to do some recording, got to do a little bit more testing on the technical side, and then we'll get a couple of guests in here, people you may have heard of, people you may not have heard of, and I have an idea for a big group show, and that might be something I do too. I don't know. But like I said, thank you for watching. Again, subscribe if you could, like if you would, or rate, depending on platform. Share with your friends if you liked it. Share with your friends if you didn't like it. The only way I'm going to learn is through criticism, but let's make our criticism constructive. What do you say? Thank you. And like I said, boom, if you're watching, you can see the hat right there. If you're not watching, there are beanies, but you can see that. Go ahead into the description. Follow me on social media. There's pictures up, or there will be pictures up, or there has been pictures up, a picture at least. We'll see if we'll put these out if there's an interest. I have a few already made. It's a little high on top, but if you're underneath the chairlift, people will know you're representing Ski Rex Media, so that's pretty good. In any case, I am Tim from Ski Rex Media. I am Tim, the Ski Rex Media, because I'm by myself. I don't have a team or employees or nothing. It's just me. In any case, I will see you on the next one. I will see you out there, socially distant if need be. Excuse me, and we'll keep this season going. At least I hope we will. And if it shuts down, we'll figure out what we're going to do from there. Right. I will see you on the next one. Enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you.